Oh, g'day. Yes, look like Bushtralian Jim here, and I'm probably doing a bit of a documenting Metamorphosis episode, and I thought a bit of a combination of the documenting Metamorphosis, a real person, and then I'm real as well. Looking pretty real this morning, aren't I? Now, I've said a few controversial things recently in the last recent days, you see, so I thought I might just sort of say a few things now, just to show like where I'm at today, what am I going to be doing today. Now, controversial things that I'm addressing here that have been mentioned in my YouTube channel and on the other social media out there in the World Wide Web to make this world a better place. That's the only reason why I'll be addressing any of this kind of stuff and saying anything kind of like that, is to make the world a better place. And so I've said a few things about police, both good and bad, but a lot of it's been actually what a lot of people would perceive as a criticism. Even myself, I might perceive a lot of it as a criticism. And fair enough, if it is actually criticism, then that's what it is, because it probably is mainly a criticism. Let's be real about it. Let's get real. Let's get real about it. But the thing is, like, working with them and walking with them through that. So I am qualified. I have the authorship, so to speak, to a certain degree, to be able to call police out on what they're doing and what they're not doing, and how they're doing it and how they're not doing it in the way they should be doing it as well. Police should not have an attitude. They should not be able to take anything personally. They should not be able to be insulted or offended by the general public, even if they're having rocks or Molotov cocktails thrown at them. They should not be able to be offended or insulted by the general public or anyone. The reason being is because they've got a gun on their hip, so they need to be able to exercise restraint unwaveringly. Like, they have to have impeccable restraint. Otherwise you're not allowed to have a gun, because the thing is, those guns take 15 bullets in the magazines and 1 in the chamber, so they've got 31 bullets on them, because the gun's chambered and safety, you see. So they just pull the gun out of their holster, aim it at someone, and unsafety, they don't even need to chamber the bullet, right? So they must have unwavering restraint. Unwavering restraint. They must have unwavering restraint. Like, they must not ever lose restraint. They must be like a machine in that manner. That's what this is about. And same, then they should not have their ego getting in the way of me calling in stuff. Yeah. I can assure that's for the froth of the milk, so it's super hot, like, I'm super hot, I'm super hot. Anyway, so I'm in Brisbane, Queensland, Australia. And I've sort of been kept out on the periphery, you see, of goings on that are occurring down Musgrave Park, with the homeless people living there and the community that surrounds that, and the Aboriginal community, as they call mob. I don't really get into that word because I grew up with farms, livestock and cattle, so I don't really call them mob, because mob is what we refer to as like sheep and cattle when we're mustering. And so I just don't refer to them as that. But there's a lot going on, you see. There's a few different things going on in a few different directions with a few different vested interests. And then my people, the people that are my people, my people, well, they're in there doing some really powerful, very interesting things, right? And sort of leaving me out of it because I stir things up way too much. Either this fella's talking to you or the other fella that's doing the documenting Metamorphosis. I've come to realise that I'm understanding the finesse that one of my real good friends has been exercising. Like, I've known that there's been something going on, so I've just been very sensitive and respectfully stayed away. And now I'm starting to understand the sensitivities. That he's in there negotiating on all these different fronts, And it's really the kind of thing for me to stay away from, even though I think that I'm the world's best negotiator. So the reason why I want to make this video now is because I've had a lot to say about police, some really scathing stuff recently, right? And I've had a lot of good to say about police. And there's also a thing about the police hadn't been in my life for a bit, and then they come back in my life on 2 different occasions recently in a real beautiful manner. And I felt so much respect for them. I felt so much gratitude for the interaction. I felt so much respect for them. Because, a lot of what my work is all about is about that. Now, I've got this thing that's Jupiter in my birth chart as well. And so we got a situation where there's going to be a Pennyiri. Now, that's a Greek festival. It's a pretty big deal. And the Greek club is right across the road from Musgrave Park. And they pay a lot of money to Brisbane City Council, which is the world's biggest city council and the world's richest. The Greek club, the Greek community is very strong in West End and South Brisbane. And so we grew up in West End, and we're growing up around the Greek people, you see, and we're very close. Like I know a lot of Greek people, and I love all of them. I'm actually in a bit of strife now because I come in the dentist, come to Brisbane and go to the dentist, and he's bloody retired, so I don't know what I'm going to do, because I can't even think about letting anyone else stick their fingers in my mouth. That's George Nichols. And so if anyone can get this to George Nichols, because I know he didn't subscribe to my channel, and or if you did, if you're out there, George, look, I really need you, mate. I need you to fix my teeth. I can't trust anyone else. How am I supposed to trust anyone else? You're the man. You're the one. George Nichols. I need you, mate. I really need you. So anyway, look, the thing is, what am I going to do as Bushtralian Jim and the other fella that I'm sort of trying to kill the other fella off because he seems to just lack a charisma. See, I've got this charisma. I know how I'm coming across to you. And that's the important thing. The restraint. Now, listen to the Paley report by Kai Potter the other day, and they're saying the Bhagavad Gita, the Tao Te Ching, the Bible, the Four Agreements, the I Ching, the Quran, all these ancient scriptures that are telling us how to be good people, etc., and talking about something bigger than ourselves. And if there's one thing, if there's one word, going to boil all of those scriptures and all their writings all down to one word, one word, what's it going to be? It's going to be restraint. Restraint. Right? Now, John Nobbs and Jackie Carroll talk about restraint as being something that you add on top. Right? You add restraint. You don't take it away. So it's less. You bring it in and you add restraint. So it's there. It's got poise. It's got potential. Then it's still harsher. Bring restraint. So it's just there. What if I just have poise? There's poise. Can you feel the poise? Poise. Well, man, I'm going to jump through the screen, right? I'm going to jump through the screen. But stop. I'm holding myself. I'm going to stop restraining myself because otherwise I'm going straight through that camera lens, straight out that screen out the other side at you, and then I'm going to be stuck over there and not here. And then that's going to be quite traumatic for my dogs because I don't know how to get back. Wherever you are, if I teleport myself through the screen, I'd probably break this device to get through the screen, and then I'd be stuck in no man's land. So the thing is, what I'm going to do is I'm going to call the South Brisbane or South Bank Police Beat police station, and the West End Police Station, and the Dutton Park Police Station, right? And I'm going to request politely, I'm going to ask, can I please speak to now on the phone or make an appointment with the officer in charge of this police station. And I'm also doing with 3 police stations, so is there any chance we can have even just a conference call on the phone, or can we get together and have a quick beer or scotch or a club sandwich lunch that you guys pay for at the Brisbane Club, or no, I'm just joking. No, there's a place called the Grosvenor on George where you can get yourself a good haircut with these topless women. That's the place to go. You want to talk, have a meeting. No, with all seriousness, I shouldn't have actually said that, because that's a terrible joke. That's a terrible joke. That's not what this is about. What I was saying is I can make that joke because I'm talking about me. But what I'm saying is the way to deal with activism when there's people got real issues at stake, like they're living in the park and they're not doing anything wrong, and then there's all these other people that are living in the park or come and go and use the park as a floating central scene, because see, there's 5 Bora rings in this sacred park. That's why it's still there. And then there's a Juggera Hall for the Aboriginal people, and it's a particular thing, like you just need to be able to prove your Aboriginality anywhere in this country from any bloodline, and then you can get onto the board there and you start doing stuff there. So it's not just locked in for the Juggera people there, but there's have been federal politicians go in there who are Aboriginal, and they get chased out with a cricket bat and stuff like that. So there's a lot of sensitivities, and the thing is, in general, we don't want the police to have their presence in Musgrave Park and to do much in Musgrave Park, because we want the elders to be able to deal with it. And there's different native land title parcels of land, and therefore relevant claims or relevant administrative processes that are there. And the police have dragged Aboriginal people off that land that they're not supposed to, because it's supposed to be that's their allocated little parcel, you see. And the police have done that. They have dragged people who are sitting in protest from the Aboriginal people. I've seen it happen. That was with an embassy. That's with an Aboriginal embassy, right? I believe that was 2012, was it? No, that's a fire embassy. Now, that was a big deal that went on for months. It's a much bigger deal than homeless people putting up tents and living in Musgrave Park that then need to be removed because the Brisbane City Council is getting paid a lot of money to put on this festival, which goes on every year. It's a massive thing. It's been on every year, So it's like they're not going to change. They're not going to change. Now, the other thing is that this government cannot recognise the Aboriginal people because they don't actually exist, you see. It's terra nullius still. It's terra nullius. We had the yes vote and all that kind of stuff to sort of have this voice in Parliament. That meant that they didn't have a voice. Someone else was speaking for them. So good that one didn't go through. But and we already have 35 committees at federal level for that voice, you see. So it's a hell of a mess. And there's politics going all kinds of different directions, and it's multi-layered. Now, I don't have any direct connections that I'm aware of down there with Aboriginal crew or the elders who are currently there at the Musgrave Park. I may do, but I'm just staying right away from you, see. There's other things that I'm doing on the background. I'll go down and provide water, because you see, there's an opportunity to have an embassy. And why would you have an embassy on someone else's land? Why would you have an embassy on your own land, you see? So there's 2 ways to go about that. So there's going to be a bit of an embassy down there, ladies and gentlemen. If you want to go down and find out what's going on, you go down there and find a fire. You'll be able to walk up there, friendly people, and ask them, would you tell me a story? I've seen Bushtralian Jim on the World Wide Web saying there's some sensitivities here. I'd like to understand what these sensitivities are so we can help you out. We got the CFMEU is down there as well, and that's a really bright, uplifting thing, you see, because all unions have started to help people raise up from the situation that they're in, which is generally a poverty kind of situation, Right, so you've got a CFMEU starting to get pretty large here in Brisbane, and I think I'd like to support their presence in Musgrave Park, supporting the homeless people and supporting Indigenous people and supporting anyone that's disadvantaged, especially when you've got these mental health concerns that sort of mean that people just slip through the cracks. I'd like to offer my full support to the CFMEU and working with the anti-poverty network. I've not seen any CFMEU down there, so I'd love to see some CFMEU down there. And the thing is, there's people down there causing trouble, right? So that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm going to call the officer in charge at South Brisbane or South Bank Police Station, Police Beat, and then the West End Police Station, and then the Dutton Park Police Station. They sort of overlap, you see. And say, like, can we have a meeting? And I'm just going to go in there and say, look, I want to be straight up with you blokes that, or if in case there's a lady as officer in charge, well, with you men and women, then I want to be straight up. There's some activism planned, and I don't actually know what it is. But I can tell you that it's going to happen on a certain level, in a certain place, to a certain capacity. Now, there's not really any reason whatsoever that it's going to clash with you guys. However, turns out that there's some troublemakers and some real scum that are sort of getting in the mix of it all. And talking like Nazi kind of stuff, and there's some pretty insidious stuff that's getting right in the middle of it all and causing big problems. And it's a difficult situation for the police to act on. And now we have all these different stakeholders, as in, they got something to gain or lose from it. So I just say, like, just spend 20 minutes just working out a real clear plan about what is it that is non-negotiable for your sides. Where does it really matter? Where does it not matter? What can you do about these other situations, considering we don't want you to be the one that does anything about it? But then the thing is, we've got these other laws that sort of override. It's a bit of a tricky situation. I don't know what the solution could possibly be. Because either way, well, what the solution is going to be, either way, is that you're going to get out of the way and let the police do their job, right? Because that's how it works. The police must do their job when they are ordered to do something. And that's how it is. That's all there is to it. So you can protest and have the activism in all the different ways you want. You can get in there and lock on the machines and stuff if you really want to protest about how people are being displaced, to have some other capitalist festival go on where you're looking over the fence at the homeless people who've got nothing. And it's like, it seems like it's all right, just look over the fence at the homeless people who've got nothing in their tents. However, I feel that Brisbane City Council is probably going to make sure that there aren't any homeless people visible to the Penny area this year, because it's just not a good look. But then when you've got people that are off their face on drugs or got mental illness and they're yelling and screaming and throwing rocks and bottles and things like that, well, it's a bit of a problem, isn't it? And what I'm seeing at the moment is that certain activists and certain activist channels and efforts are actually getting in the way of the police removing the riffraff. And believe me, like every suburb in the world that ever gets some riffraff, then you got policing that city still. It's under police rule. It's not under gang rule or whatever. Then you need the police to get rid of that riffraff eventually. That's how it works in the civilized world. All right, so that's what I'm going to be doing today. And I will not talk to anyone less than the officer in charge. And unless they're really unavailable, then I will not. Like when I engage with police at police stations, I do not talk to anyone less than a sergeant. Just will not. I will not engage with anyone of a lower rank than a sergeant at all. Okay, and then it's officer in charge. So the officer in charge, they have perspective. They have jobs that need to be done. They're in charge of everyone else getting their job done. The police job, the job of being a police officer, is an administrative job, mainly. And then The reason why they have guns on their hips is to enforce the will of the city, which is polis, P-O-L and P-O-L-I and P-O-L-I-S. And then you get P-O-L-I-C-Y, right? And then you get P-O-L-I-C-E. That's how that word works. Understand? Right? Now, so if you've got a city, then you must have police. And the police are the ones that enforce the will of the city and keep everyone safe. Their main job is to protect people from people, but it's an administrative process. And then they've got batons, capsicum spray, tasers, torches, and guns. And each other. And radios, and cars, and phones, and all kinds of good toys. Right, so, and then they got their armour and all that kind of stuff. And handcuffs, don't forget that, so you can have a good time with them. So that's make sure you remember your safe word. And so, that's what their job is. That's what their job is. And now they're getting paid $100,000 a year to start with, so they're getting paid $2,000 a week to start with. Which is a good thing in a way, so there's a lot less chance of corruption. But I think the thing is when you get someone like that, if they're going to be corrupt, and so Queensland police corruption, no such thing as police corruption in Queensland. Nah. Don't know what you're talking about. Yeah, so then you just sort of get that anyway. No, but I don't think. I think the corruption in Queensland police services is far less what it was, and it's far more hidden than what it was. And you just stay away from that stuff anyway, and you don't have a problem. Right, so I won't be having lunch with a police officer, no matter who he is, at the Brisbane Club, even if they're paying for a club sandwich and a pint of expensive beer or a nice sort of scotch, Yeah, so I just want to say that that's the thing you can do, is proprietary. Just go and see. People think this is too much, but I just say, look, I just want to have a conversation and go, I'm going to be supporting certain people doing certain things there, right? Mainly Aboriginal, because there's 5 border rings on that land, and then there's other specific places of land that are sacred and important and protected to the Aboriginal people. And they're acupuncture points on the earth, right? And I'm an acupuncturist, so I'm going to be doing stuff there. I'm going to make sure that those people have food and water, right? That's one thing I'm going to be doing. I'll be dropping off a 20-litre jerry can there every second day to one particular camp, just so they got that there. I know that you're good, and probably remove rubbish away from them, just so that they got a basic functionality there, and able to just focus their energy on having a fire and keeping a vigil and talking to people. And then I take my dogs in there, because that's what I do. Musgrave Park is a very important place for my dogs and stuff. We've done a lot of work there. There's some real psychopaths there who get down there with dogs, and we heal them too. And it's I've had a person attack me there. So did I turn around and maim him? Because that's what I would have done. No, I didn't maim him. I referred it to police. Nothing happened, and then it happened again. And then on the third time, I see him down South Bank, and then I got him on camera and then gave it to the police. Okay, so that's what you do. That fella, he got charged with 1 punch can kill law under Queensland, so he waved down the police and then went to the watch house. Never got released back into the community. Did his 180 days in custody and got sent back to South America. Good riddance to him. Good riddance to him. Now, what would have happened if I had dealt with that? I'd still be in jail, wouldn't I? That was 2 years ago or something. Even longer. So that's the role that the police have. And the police are hindered by all kinds of different political and social morality constraints, you see. But at the end of the day, they got a job to do, and they are human beings, and they are caring people, and they want their job to go easier every shift they do. That's why they talk to you so nice and politely as well. It's their job to talk to you nice and politely, but they want their life to be nice and polite and easy, and they want their shifts. That's why they talk to you nice and politely, and they are respectful. And remember, whenever you're talking to police, you have rights. But if they give you a direction, then you must comply with that direction for the greater good of the community. Otherwise, they're allowed to put their hands on you. And effectively, once a police officer has put their hands on you, whether they've spoken any words about it or not, you are under arrest. So, even if you fall to the ground, they'll say, "Stop resisting," and they'll start hitting you, quite likely, if it's a protest. I shouldn't say that, but you're at risk of that, right? Even if you fall to the ground, even if you trip over, if you're going with them, they're trying to move you for something, and you trip over and you fall to the ground, and they'll say, "Stop resisting! Stop resisting! Stop resisting!" You've got to be careful because their batons can fall out of their belt, you see, and they can start hitting you while they're saying, "Stop resisting!" and calling all their friends over to you. And then they start kicking you the ground and stuff, and then you start writhing around because you're having a nerve impulse because they kicked you in the spine, and so they stop resisting, and they put their foot on your throat while they hold you down so they can get your hands in the handcuffs, and then they just drag you with your hands cuffed behind your back. You've got to be real careful of that. So you're opening yourself up to that, right? You open yourself up to that by pushing it further past where the point is of getting that police direction. Now, I've just said a lot of stuff about respect for the police, and then I've just said that. So that's not how police act, but it can go that way. And you'll find if there's 30 police and someone starts doing that and 7 of them jump on you, then, the other 23 of them aren't going to rush in and save you, okay? They're not going to rush in and save you. If you've got activism, talk to the police. Talk to the top brass of the police. Tell them what you're doing, what you want to do, what you want to achieve, what you don't want to achieve, what your safeguards are, and then ask them what their most important things are. Work with them in every way. Get them to get rid of the riffraff so you can get on with your job. Have that one for free. And everyone have a great penny and, the people are homeless because they slipped through the cracks, and those cracks remain there. And I spent all my money this last week. I put a family of 5 into accommodation. It cost me $840. So that's my Centrelink benefit from this great country that gives me that welfare. So I've had no money all week. It's been real hard financially lately, and if you can just see an opportunity. I saw that there was an opportunity. I found some accommodations, family there. So instead of them going camping in Musgrave Park while all this other stuff's going on, and the kids not knowing what the hell's going on, then you've got these 3 kids that think they're having a holiday. Now, it's only for a week. I don't know what I'm going to do next week. I managed to get that bloke a job, but it's funny I could get him a job. I couldn't get myself one. Yeah, that's how it works. And so, I don't know, but I'm just going to support him, and then they can come and stay with me because they're working. But then, that's what we do. And I haven't even noticed I had no money. Well, I kind of have, but I haven't had any notice I haven't had any money all week because you kind of get carried by something else. Now, the thing is, if you're going to give a fuck about people, then give a fuck about them. Don't pretend to give a fuck. You can look at them over the fence and go, "Oh, well, look at that. Yeah, right. I wonder what's happening here. Well, there's obviously something wrong there," and then just walk away. Don't pretend that you care. If you do care, then get out there and care properly. But you must respect people. Like, people are homeless because they're going to do it themselves. They're under their own volition. We're all our own masters. The way I'm living, that's what this whole documenting Metamorphosis thing's all about, is because that's what it is. That's the way we live. We're going to do it ourselves, respect each other for doing it ourselves, and we're in life with others. And look, here's Hendrix. Hendrix has just turned up. G'day, Hendrix. This is Hendrix. See him, Hendrix? Yeah. I've got a Jimi Hendrix shirt on too. There's Hendrix. He's a lovely fella. G'day, mate. Oh, you're a lovely little fella, aren't you? Aren't you? Aren't you? What a lovely little bloke. What a lovely little bloke he is. Eh? What a lovely little bloke he is. There you go, I've got Jimmy here, and then I've got Hendrix there. Can we get a bit of a light shine on there? Make it a bit better just to finish it off. Can I shine on the dog? Can I shine? Can you see the dog? Can you see the dog? Oh, you're not getting away, my mate. You're not getting away. Show the world how beautiful you are. There we go. Show the world. Let the world out there. That'll do. Have that one for free. Cheerio.